I'm pretty excited today because embattled Harvard President Claudine Gay has resigned today after additional 6 examples of plagiarism were discovered. Take a look.
This just into the newsroom, a Fox News alert. The Harvard Crimson, a student-run newspaper out of Harvard, is now reporting that their president, embattled President Claudine Gay, is set to resign imminently, reporting she's planning to do so this afternoon. She's been in the position just 6 months. She's now facing lasting criticism about her alleged inability to manage anti-Semitism across the campus and protect Jewish students. She's also facing nearly 50 accusations of distinct incidents of plagiarism in her publications, her academic publications, all this coming to a head. It looks like this afternoon Harvard Crimson and the Boston Globe are now reporting that she is going to step aside and announce her resignation imminently.
You know, I will not forget that questioning of these 3 presidents of prominent universities. MIT was another one, and whatever. Penn University.
She stepped down.
And Penn has stepped down.
Now Harvard.
Now Harvard.
Now we wait on MIT.
And we wait on MIT. So here's the thing. If you cannot answer a simple question, like the fact that these young people, maybe old people too, are able to be on the campus and have anti-Semitic slurs calling for the death of Jews and Antifada, where Jews, young people, are not safe on the campus, and you cannot answer that that is against your university's policy to make all people safe? I thought we were in an anti-bullying world. You know, I thought that anti-bullying became so popular, like you don't bully a bunch of bullies. And frankly, for most people, bullying is not agreeing with them, because that's what I've faced. I simply don't agree. I have never threatened the life or the well-being or the physical security of one person on this planet. Rarely my husband. Once in a while, like I say stuff, right? But then I get over it, we're fine, yeah. And we've made up. You know, but I don't threaten the physical security of anybody. How in this anti-bullying world, in this woke world of, oh, you don't hurt anybody, oh, but apparently if it's Jewish people, if it's young Jewish students, they are threatened. They've had to hold press conferences. They're telling the truth. They're saying they have been so courageous to come out and say, we're actually not safe here. And she was unable to do that. And not only that, as you begin to look into this corrupt person who, I guess Obama couldn't save her butt, eh? Oh, Obama, not as powerful as you thought. Can't even save one of your friend's positions. You're a nothing burger, and you will continue to get to be a nothing burger, Obama, because, hey, you can't even make Biden get off the hot seat, right? He just keeps telling people that he's running to be the president in 2024, when everybody knows he needs to be put in an old folks home, okay? Like he needs some real meds, and in fact, he's on a lot of medication because he needs it to have an upper to get going in the day, right? That's Biden and his corrupt Bidenomics and his son, right? His son just absolutely, this is the most corrupt family of all times. And Obama couldn't save what's going on now. Do you know why it's going so bad everywhere? Because these people hate good principles. They hate Jews. They hate anything Trump ever did. And because of that, they cannot see straight. So they can't bring themselves to be in any sort of possible alignment with something that he did. Bring peace to the Middle East. Trump signs the peace accords. Oh, no, well, we don't want to have any of that. Let's just cause next to the, World War. Absolutely incredible. Now, take a look at exiled Hamas leader Saleh al-Aruri. He was just killed in a drone strike in Lebanon today. Here you can see him on the left celebrating the October 7th attacks on Israel. And this guy who is thrilled. That's him there in front and center. This guy. That's him now. These guys came into Israel. They raped, murdered, and tortured people in an unprecedented manner that I haven't heard of it in my life, that you would treat people like this. Cutting off little children's limbs, their fingers, before killing them, putting a baby in the oven, raping men and women. It's absolutely disgusting and sick. I'm not certain how there's ever going to be any two-state solution ever. How can you ever let these hideous monster psychopaths, these degenerate, sick, demonic, satanized, horrible Hezbollah and Hamas, they're terrorist organizations that are there to kill people. And now Hezbollah is getting all into it through Lebanon. This is a big war. Now people want a ceasefire. I understand that. We hate to see killing, especially in our kind of worlds. But let me tell you, the day you have a ceasefire is the day they regroup and they prepare for their next attack. They still have the hostages. This is a disaster for them. You don't do this to humanity. You don't do this to innocent people and expect that there will not be retaliation. And I know people are calling for a ceasefire. And it's a very difficult situation. But many of these people in Gaza placing themselves in harm's way because they do believe that they will get a martyr's crown if they die. So they're not as concerned about it because they've been indoctrinated into thinking, if you die for this cause, if you die for Allah, if you die, defending psychopaths apparently, then there's some sort of reward for you for that. See, this is where Islam and Christianity are far different. Like we know Jesus died for us. Muhammad calls sometimes for the jihad, the death of you as his followers to die. Now, it doesn't mean that as Christians, we're not called on sometimes to lay our lives down because of what we believe in. But we are not ever called to hurt innocent people and go on an attack. Now, if you have to defend yourself, I look at it this way, and I was trying to describe it to somebody, but if I have a little neighborhood house, so that's my house. I don't think you can see it, okay, but you got a house, and then a block away, you've got the Crips and the Bloods, all right? And they have threatened that they are going to destroy your family. There's no ceasefire. There's no stopping. If it's like you or us, it's going to have to be you for as hard as we can fight. If you're going to come against my family, it's going to have to be you. And Hamas openly declaring nonstop that they will kill every Jew on the planet. And you know what? If they'll kill them, they will kill the atheists, they will kill the Christians, they will kill anyone who is not submitted to the religion of Islam. Those are the radicals. And it's very sad to see. And we've played some clips of people that are literally in Canada right now. And the people in Canada right now also are a bit confused about what the truth is, because it's hard to get it, isn't it? It's hard to get the truth. So we try to do that here. Now, Dan Bongino and Tucker were speaking about Yuval Harari, and so I want to talk about how what Yuval said on that show.
The irony of the COVID crisis is these globalists out there, the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset crowd, these IMFers, Bo Lee, They love this totalitarian model. They adore it. And there's this guy, Yuval Harari. I know you know him. 60 Minutes loves him. All the big globalists love him. The Obamas probably love him too. He really nailed it with this soundbite about COVID, how what they were allowed to get away with is such a perfect vehicle for their new little authoritarian future. Here, check this out.
It's not an extremely deadly virus. It's not the Black Death. And look what it's doing to the world. So now just try to think what will be the implications of a much bigger problem like climate change. Also, conceptually, it shows that, and here I completely agree with you, Rutger, that it shows you that you can change things on a massive scale. That, and again, you can stop all flights. You can lock down entire countries. You can actually do that. And life goes on in some way. And this, I would say, may make us more open to radical ideas about how to deal also with climate change.
So now, since they've learned so much on how they can control us and all the sheep just do whatever the authorities tell them, because we've literally failed to stand up to them, they're now looking at ways that, because of climate, because the cows are fluffing, because you're breathing and the climate is being destroyed through that. Now we're going to have to start, narrowing in. And hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have more clips from you, incredible clips on this same dude, basically saying they're going to be able to just shut down all travel. That's what's coming. And that's what worries me about this next little season here, is that they don't have good intentions. And as much as we are living the abundant life, and let me tell you, I cannot be more excited about what God is about to do. I really am. But I think that my security comes from knowing that my hope is in Him and that we're going to survive all of this crazy nonsense. But I'm asking you to do something for 2024. I'm asking you to get mentally strong. I'm asking you to fortify your soul into what is truth and not what is satanic. And by the way, we got a big problem with people like Taylor Swift. Like, Satanism is on the rise and they're pushing it on our children. Do not go to any of her concerts. Don't support her. Don't buy her music. Don't let your kids listen to this chick. Listen to this. Have a look at Taylor Swift.
So Taylor Swift is finally showing you guys who she truly is, and you're still not paying attention, huh? She literally called herself a witch in this tweet. Billboard chart says this is a song for all the lonely witches. Y'all think they're just putting on an artistic act? This woman was on tour going state to state, doing live rituals on stage. And nobody's paying attention to it, huh? You're that brainwashed.
Pitchforks and proof, their receipts and resigns. They're burning all the witches, even if you aren't one. And light me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a serpent behind her. Y'all waking up yet? Last week's sweetheart has turned to this week's witch. In that video, she was acting like she was in hell. So yeah, last week's sweetheart has turned to this week's witch in hell. But are you catching on yet? So a witch in front of a serpent. Let's go deeper, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it interesting that Taylor Swift looks exactly like Zena LaVey? Who is Zena LaVey, you might ask? She's Anton LaVey's daughter. Anton LaVey was the founder of the Satanic Church, and his daughter Zena LaVey was a high priestess for Satan. Safe to say she was a witch. Oh, how the resemblance is remarkable. So America's Sweetheart blew up being America's Sweetheart, but now she's trying to make it cool to be a witch. Why is that? Well, I said it before, you do not get this big without certain contracts being signed. They got her right where they wanted her just so they can turn her around so she can manipulate the youth. The kids love Taylor Swift. But instead of being a great role model that she built her fan base off of, now she wants to be a witch. Y'all see the switch? And this isn't something new. Billie Eilish with children, building a fan base with children. Then all of a sudden she made a song called All the Good Girls Go to Hell. Now this is your Billie. Now this is your Billie. And all the brainwashed would call it artistic. Lil Nas X built a fan base off of children. They blew this man up out of nowhere. Then what happened? Out of nowhere, he switched. Next thing we know, he's sliding from heaven into hell. Even gave him his own satanic shoe. They had 666 on him. Also Luke 10:18, the verse in the Bible where Satan fell like lightning. So do you guys see the comparison? Do you guys see the pattern? Do you guys see who they're after? They're after the youth. Because if they can control the youth, they can control the future. Y'all might have thought she was America's sweetheart, but my Bible says even Satan himself masquerades like an angel of light. Stop listening to these artists and stop letting your children listen to these artists. Little do you know, you are allowing demonic spirits to come into your household. Because when you play that nonsense, you are coming into agreement with that nonsense. Your eyes and your ears are portals. What you let into them is what you're coming into agreement with. 2024, let's be smarter. Let's be more wise. If it's not glorifying God, cut it off. God bless you.
If it's not glorifying God, cut it off. And you know, we're coming into a season where the fulfillment in Revelations, you know, that my dad and his Bible, I'm so blessed. I found a picture when I was 6 years old of my dad and my family with this Bible. I don't know if I sent that to you. Did I send it? Okay, I got to get that. But basically all in Revelations 6 and Revelations 13 even, we're talking about what is about to unfold on this planet as we head into the last days. And that includes like things like the mark of the beast, right? It says, my dad had underlined in Revelations 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. So when we're talking about mark of the beast stuff, and I think that you had a little bit, you can turn it kind of down, because I found this video, and I appreciate that everyone is starting to have a little bit more of a spiritual focus, because guess what? We didn't see all this coming. And this is going to be a kick. This is really going to be a kick, what we're about to face here, because prophetic words are about to come true. The prophecies of old, the times where we didn't know what was going to happen. And I mean, the peace in Israel actually was nice, but it ain't going to be peaceful in the end. Armageddon, I told you about Ezekiel 38 and 39. How many of you read that this weekend? Did you get a chance? I'll give it to you again. Ezekiel 38 and 39. Look at what happens in the very last days. This is like pretty much the biggest fight of your lives. Many biblical people feel that we will literally be, you know, this will be a rapture, which the word rapture is not actually in the Bible, but, you know, that we will be gone in the twinkling of an eye. If we're ever, you know, a whole bunch of us are all gone, don't worry. Aliens never got us. We're just with the Lord, and we're going to be ruling and reigning with him, and we're going to have an opportunity to come back and all of that. So I tell you right now, this is a time to prepare yourself for what's about to come. But, you know, we can prepare physically. We always tell you, make sure you've got some good food and water on hand for a bad day. When they do something crazy, they shut off the internet. Have a plan for your family on how to get around. We've just seen this movie. It's basically telling us what they're planning. We've seen Yuval Noah Harari telling us that they are going to, shut down airports for travel pretty soon. We've seen the WHO saying that there's going to be new viruses. Oh, these ones will be bad, because I guess they're little, fake run at it wasn't very successful, as we've heard from people in Germany and whatnot. So preparing ourselves for what is about to happen mentally. And how do I do that? Well, I understand a few things, that God, he's got their number, and that God is in full control. Now, when we talk about Satan, and I don't know, I want to share something with you that I have kind of been investigating. And so if you've got my share there, JT, have you ever wondered where Satan lives? This is interesting. The Bible kind of says where Satan has his throne and tells us. Do you want to follow along with something just fascinating? Revelations 2:12 and 13. To the church in Pergamum, and I'll tell you where that is in just a moment. So this place that he's writing to is in Pergamum. And it says in verse 12, to the angel of the church in Pergamum write, these are the words of him who has the sharp double-edged sword. I know where you live, where Satan has his throne. Yet you remain true to my name. You did not renounce your faith in me, not even in the days of Antipas, my faithful witness, who was put to death in your city, where Satan lives. Do you want to know? What the heck? What city is that where Satan lives? All right, check this out. Well, where's Pergamum? I never heard of this place. I asked ChatGPT, and you can look it up. You can look it up on your Google if you want, but I've moved to ChatGPT, try to find out things there, okay? Where is Pergamum? Pergamum, also known as Pergamon, was an ancient Greek city located in the region of Asia Minor, which is now modern-day Turkey. It was an important center of cultural learning and power during its time. Modern-day Turkey. So do you think, and if you could just pull the this off, JT, while I just get to my next slide here. So let me show you some other things. Have you heard of CERN? So CERN is in Switzerland, okay? And okay, I want to just show this. So now share this tab instead. So where was Antipas killed? We did a search in Pergamon, Turkey. So you can find out that in truth, what the Bible says, it's all there, that in, it looks like he was martyred in about 92 AD. Antipas was appointed Bishop of Pergamon by John, and then he was martyred in 92 AD. Okay? All right, so we've got that. Now, what do we have here? So I asked, where is CERN in relation to Turkey? Because have you heard about CERN? So CERN is, CERN's Large Hadron Collider is looking for dark photons. Have you heard about CERN? CERN is this place. Have you seen this place? And people are talking about it being a portal to hell. I don't know. But there's some sort of portal there. All right. I'm not given to things like this. I kind of go, well, I'm waiting to see. So I looked up a little bit more. So this is what the writer is saying here. Now this is December 31, 2023. Okay. I went kind of crazy looking at this 2 nights ago. And I sent it to a bunch of people. So right at the end of 2023, the Large Hadron Collider may soon uncover the secrets of dark photons. Should we be scared? Well, it says no. Back in the summer of 2022, TikTok lost its mind over news that the Large Hadron Collider, the particle collider run by the European Organization for Nuclear Research, which is CERN, at a giant installation on the border between Switzerland and France, was about to be switched back on after a spate of ho-hum findings led to it being offline. The concern at the time was that resuming particle collisions was going to manifest various sci-fi apocalypse scenarios. Summon Stranger Things style creatures or annihilate the universe, that sort of thing. None of this was ever going to happen, but perhaps one could call the sudden spike in interest a win for science in any case. Well, according to a December 27th statement from CERN, some of the LHC findings from this latest run of experiments are ready for public consumption, and they concern flashlight under chin voice, dark photons. So what has CERN been up to since 2022, and what does it have to do with dark photons? Well, I'm going to put this, if we can, JT, into the description here so you can read a little bit more about this. Now, this is a secular publication. This is a publication that doesn't want, it's not going to go on and on about things that you should be concerned about what CERN is doing. Just forget about it. No worries. Nothing to see here. Okay. So, let me see. So I asked it. So if Satan's throne, the Bible's saying where this guy died, right? Where Antipas died, that's where Satan lives, where his throne is. It says it 2 times. So you might be willing to kind of go, well, maybe this is just a whatever. Well, take a look at this. So Turkey is about 900 miles away from Switzerland. That's not far. It's a day's trip by car. You can push it and, you can get there in a day. It's not far at all. So Turkey becomes an associate member of the state of CERN. This happened in 2015. Turkey. I want us to keep an eye on Turkey. Have any of you had some premonitions about this? I'll tell you what. I was out with a lady on Friday, and she is very prophetic. Now, one of the interesting things, and she's known, she loves the Lord. She just has a real gift of seeing. She's a seer. And she's very prophetic. She travels with people that are well known in Canada. She's not a fly-by-night. She's not some lady sitting, looking at crystals saying, I'm a seer. And she's a woman of God who sees things. Very curious thing. So as we're there, it was our first meeting out. We've met before, but we said, let's get together. So we meet there, and she looks over and she says, so I don't know a lot about you. You've got some sort of podcast or something. She goes, are you really kicking the devil in the teeth? And I said, I believe I am. I believe I am. She says, I'm sorry, I don't know more about you. But she says, there is a very large creature. And she was sitting, so it was off to her right, a very large creature here. And he's very demonic. And he says, I want to kill her. Speaking of me. And she says, I'm not saying this to scare you, but she says, what are you doing? What is happening in your life? Like, what are you exposing? So I said, well, here's a list, And she just sat back and she said, you also have a huge accompaniment of angels. Now, I've been told that several times about the angels that are with me, so I'm good. So don't worry, but if you would pray, that'd be nice. Pray for covering and protection over me, my family, my husband, because we do get kickback. We do get retribution against us spiritually and by dark forces. And so I believe Satan is alive and well. I don't know if you remember that book that came out a few years ago, like Satan is alive and well on planet Earth. Well, he still is. And our hope now is that we would find a way to get onto the right place so that we are in the right frame of mind to be ready for what is about to happen. Because my concern is that the challenge will not necessarily be so physical as it will be a mental challenge that we're about to face. So I wrote about this on my Facebook page, which is not pulling up here. I'll just take a moment. That I think that they're going to try to scare us. We've got Yuval Noah Harari and all of these crazies. Oh, here it is, JT. I might be able to show this. So I put up, thanks y'all, 225 lights. Thank you. So check this out, everybody. This is me when I was a little girl. All right. And this is my mom We were in Africa at the time of this picture being taken. I remember how the room looked and everything. Interesting. So there's my mom. She's got a sort of an African dress. There's my dad sitting there. Look what he's got. He's got that Bible that I love so much. That Bible right there. This Bible on his lap. It's got, you can see it has the, the things on the side. Look, it looks in a lot better shape, Dad. The pages look white and all of that. But this is the reason that I do what I do, is because we're going to need the Word of God. So one of the things that I put out there on 2024 and what we need to know for 2024, let me see if I can just get there real fast. But what we need to survive this is we need to know that God is in charge. And here it is. All right, if we can put that there, JT, you got that? Laura-Lynn, Tyler, Thompson. Here's everything you need to know in 2024. Stay strong. They will try to scare us. Laugh in their face. Okay? We have got to find our joy in the middle of this. And let me tell you why. Because Psalms 37, 13 to 22. Let's read that. But the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he knows their day is coming. The enemy is aware that his time is short, so he's going to increase his unnecessary nonsense. And we don't need to be afraid of that, because we know God shows up. God shows up in power at the end of days. Read Ezekiel 38 and 39. Read about how it all goes down. It starts out bad, but God shows up in the middle of it. The wicked draw the sword and bend the bow to bring down the poor and needy, to slay those whose ways are upright. But their swords will pierce their own hearts, and their bows will be broken. Better the little that the righteous have than the wealth of many wicked. For the power of the wicked will be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. Who's not righteous? These dudes right here. That's who's not righteous. I am very happy that Fauci is going to be on the stand coming up in January. I think those are going to be some great clips. I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to know that 2024 is going to be an epic hour where God will be with us. He's going to be with us to stand with us in the fearful things, and they're going to throw some things at us. But in the last days, the people who know their God, according to Daniel 11, will be strong and do great exploits. So I don't like that demons have a problem with me. I don't like that. I don't want to take on a devil who's smarter than me, stronger than me. But guess what I've got? Backup. And that's what you've got. You've got backup. When we are walking in God's power, we've got his backup. So we don't need to be afraid. So they're going to send out another word about more viruses coming. Guess what the word of God says? Psalms 91. This is a pretty easy one. It says that virus and that plague, it's going to go to their tent, not to ours. And another thing, JT and I were talking about this, and I don't know if you have that bunker stuff available yet, JT, but all of these globalists, like trying to destroy the world, they really they would love nothing more than just a huge war that kills billions of people so they can get everything back down. Sad for them if it kills all the scientists so they don't even have electricity anymore. But here's what these guys are doing. Have you seen how Facebook's Zuckerberg, he's building a big bunker house in Hawaii, is what I heard. And JT said that he found this website where these bunker places are, they're telling all the elites how you can get bunker houses. Well, I can't exactly afford a bunker house. I might have to go to a basement maybe, but I don't know exactly how to build a bunker to preserve myself and make myself safe from them. But I have something better. I have God's angels. And when you look at Psalms 91, the angels of God say that they will be with us. So in 2024, do not be afraid. God laughs in the heavens at their schemes, their plans. It says it over and over all through Psalms. If you Google, God laughs in the heavens, God laughs at evil, something like that, it's all going to come up, all those verses. We do not need to be afraid. We just need to stand strong. I am going to have the time of my life. I am going to enjoy, because guess what? This this president of the university at Harvard, her sins found her out. The sins that are done in secret will be found out. Woke agendas will be broken. And total chaos. We have an election year coming. People are saying potentially there's going to be unrest in the United States like we have never seen it. There is going to be potential of, having a civil war. Because when the right loses, we get mad. We might say, hey, there's been a problem here. We don't know if the results are true. And we have a problem. But you know what? We go about our lives. We don't kill people or harm or maim them. When the other side loses, they're out of their ever-loving minds because they cannot fathom. Something's wrong with them. Like some sort of sickness where they can't understand that people, we just don't agree with you. We don't accept your position on things. We just don't accept it. So we go on living our lives. They don't want us to just not accept. They want celebration of their perspective. They want celebration of critical race theory. They want celebration of teaching people to hate their life and their country. They want celebration of the LGBTQ woke agenda. They want us all to be on board with them or what? Or they will burn it down. It's going to be it's going to be a war. It's going to be a problem. So we don't accept it. My website for this year, where you can find all my shows, even if I'm not on this platform, is Laura-Lynn.tv. I want to say how very grateful I am that you supported us through this last year. I want you to know it means everything. And for those of you who even kind of because we give income tax receipts, we know that some people donate because they get an income tax receipt, and you gave well, in December, especially, the last few days. That's really helpful so that we can do what we need to do. And in fact, please, I'm going to put this before you. There's an opportunity to go on Daystar Canada for a half hour. Do you think this kind of show brought down to a half hour would be good to get on television? Do you think that God would be able to help us to do that? Because that's going to be an increase in finances. And, that's a bit of a stretch right now. Do you think that you'd want to support something like that, where we have a television aspect, a half hour a day of this kind of programming, telling the truth on Daystar, so that everyone can see it, not being shadow banned? All right? It's on a channel that people can watch. So it gets into the homes of people that are not, necessarily getting their content from the internet. Would you believe with us for that? And I'm so thankful, to some of you who have already, January 1st, you made a donation so that you knew you're with us on January 1st, not just the end of the year, but you're with us now. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you. Because of what God has gifted us with, because we have a charitable organization, we are able to talk to culture, to speak in the marketplace about the power of Jesus Christ. So please go to our website, push on the donate button, and if you're able to help us to move forward, please do. You can also send an e-transfer to Laura-Lynn Live at protonmail.com. And we also have snail mail, and that's Box 48184, New Westminster, BC V3M0A7. Please write that down. Take a moment. Just have a look at that. And I want to leave you with this scripture in Psalms 106. This is actually a very long chapter, Psalms 106. 107 is pretty long too. But it says, where do I start? All right. It talks about God. He saved them from the hand of the foe. I'm going to start in verse 10. From the hand of the enemy, he redeemed them. The waters covered their adversaries. Not one of them survived. They're speaking about when the Israelites were taken out of Egypt, a powerful enemy. Egypt always represented those that did not know the Jewish God, those who did not honor the Jewish God, and they oppressed them. But These words of what God does is true for today. Listen to this. The waters covered their adversaries. No one of them survived. Can you see the day when maybe none of our enemies survive? Can you see that day where the people that are doing grave injustice at this hour will be held to account? I can, and I am very excited about it. I think their day is coming. Before that day comes, we might have to go through some mental assaults and gymnastics because of what they lie about and say to us. But I think God is on the throne and he's with us. Then they believed his promises and sang his praise. I want to circle this because this is very important. What do you believe? Do you have the kind of faith that I'm speaking of today? Or do you want to exercise that faith muscle? Because what happens is that we can know the promises of God. We can hear them. You can hear someone else talking about it, be it me or your pastor or somebody that you watch online, and you try to get that faith. But will you believe his promises? If you dare to believe his promises, he will come through for you. The word of God says, according to your faith be it so to you. So if our faith is small, if we just can't, we're always running scared and we just don't know if God's gonna, really be there, and we don't know how we're gonna get through this crisis we're having with our finances or some of our, personal relationships. Things are going on and wrong and they're hard. They're hard. Days are hard. When you're escaping an evil land, it's a hard time. But they believed his promises, because what has God promised us? He's promised us that he will never leave us or forsake us. God promises you that he will be your peace in a time of storm. He promises that he will hide you under the shadow of the Almighty and that his angels will encompass you during a time of war, personal, spiritual war in your life. God promises that he will spare your life. Do you know what? The devil is not in charge of when your life ends. God is. His plan is perfect. So you can trust that. Therefore, if you trust that, you know that whatever it is, you don't have to worry, because worrying does not help. Worrying doesn't do a single thing. But if you believe his promises, and get this, you sang his praise. They sang his praises. Are you willing to sing? Put on that worship music. Do battle with the enemy, everyone. 2024, it's going to be spectacular. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.